All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. This is the host CB, and I'm proudly excited to welcome you, our special guest for tonight's show. He goes by Hoodiejube. I'm pretty sure you all know about this guy. So welcome, Hoodiejube. Hoodiejube, how you doing, fam? Before we get started, just give the audience a rundown of what you bring for our Saints content to the fans. How you doing, fam? Welcome.
Thank you for bringing me on, and I'm happy to be here. And basically, this, what I bring to the family and to the Who Dat Nation is, I bring a lot of video content. Basically telling y'all any breaking news, any rumors, that I see. I don't like giving out false, news. So until I see the actual, real news reporters actually posting it, then I'll post that out. We do live podcasts on my show, which is really fun as well. Anybody's welcome on the show. We always open up the lines, because I always want to know what my crowd is thinking as well. I don't like everybody knowing what this, what Hoodiejube is thinking. I want everybody else to be involved with me. And we also do a lot of caring for our community as well. We do giveaways and, donation to, children's hospitals and stuff like that. So that's what basically the Hoodiejube channel, brings, to the Who Dat Nation.
Okay, I'm once again glad to have you, fam. And I'm pretty sure everybody that's tuned in done heard about you or know lots about you, man. I appreciate you for what you do for the community and also for the Who Dat Nation because we love your content. I'm a fan as well, fam. So basically, tonight's show, I just want to pick your brain. We're gonna go all the way back to the addition of Derek Carr. We're gonna start with that, and then we're gonna work our way all the way up to the present right now. But before we do that, let's go ahead and hop over to the comment section. Let's show some love to the comments. See Elite Goods in the building. Who that? I see the OG Jerry Poor in the building, giving the podcast a shout out. Who that to you, fam? See James Smart in the building. Said, "What's good, everyone? What's good with you, James Smart?" Anthony James said, "What up, Saints? What's good with you, fam?" The OG getting you a shout out, Hoodie.
Jerry.
And we got Trav 504 in the building. Said, "Who that, everybody? Who that to you, fam?" And as we continue to go through, no, one more. Shout out to Leslie Newsom, man. It's been a minute, fam. Said it's almost that time. Who that? What's up, CB? What's good with you, fam? Appreciate you for tuning in. It's been a good minute. We got a lot to talk about. And as the show goes on, we will highlight the comments throughout the show. Okay, but let's go ahead and get started. Let's go all the way back to the addition of Derek Carr. As you know how the QB situation fared out, Hoodie. We had the back and forth with Andy Dalton James. There was even some debate going on the little division with the Saints fans. But all in all, they went and got the guy that they wanted, what Dennis wanted, which was Derek Carr. So what is your thoughts about that addition? Do you see this guy being a short-term addition for us, or do you see this guy being a career-ending quarterback for us?
I can definitely see him being a long-term quarterback for us, and a lot of people like to, talk down on him and trash him. Basically, kind of like Jameis Winston. Everybody was always talking bad about him, but us. We're the Who Dat Nation. We all know that everybody likes to trash talk anybody that comes to the Saints. We can go get Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL right now, and they'll say he's trash now, put it on the Saints. That's just how media and everybody runs. But if people go and look at Derek Carr and they look at, his 9 seasons in the NFL so far, this man has done some damage with barely no weapon and literally with a top 25 and below defense. So this man's always trying to play from behind, always trying to come back, or if the man is up, they just can't keep a lead for him. So he lost, games because of that terrible defense. Yes, him as a quarterback, he might have blew a few games and stuff like that, but people don't look into the details and they don't look and they say, okay, let me do my math, and I did my math and I did it on my podcast the other day, and I told people, I said, if you look at Derek Carr's career with the offense that he had, not everybody was amazing. Last year was the first year he actually had a good offense, with Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, and, Darren Waller. But Darren Waller was hurt most of the season. Hunter Renfrow was hurt too. So basically, you had Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs to work with. So he still didn't have a full season with, a good offense. Second of all, the last season, everybody was like, well, his season wasn't too good last year. He kind of had like a downhill season. Well, the brother still drew for 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 14 picks. And he did that in a new offense that he had to learn, basically what McDaniel wanted him to run. And if anybody knows, Derek Carr has been running a West Coast offense his whole life. And what do the New Orleans Saints run? A West Coast offense. So I think he's going to fit perfect. We're giving him control behind the center. We're letting him call plays, change plays. We need to. That's what we need. We need like a Drew Brees, basically, that can sit behind there, call out a defense, change the play when he sees something that he can take advantage of, compared to the quarterback that's back there that's just saying height, and if something doesn't work out, then you're trying to make something work out. Also, if you go look at his numbers and you average it between the 9 seasons, the brother probably had averaged about 3,700 to about 4,000 yards per season in passing yards, 24 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions in his 9 seasons, with the Raiders. And that's with a top 25 and below defense and barely no weapon. Now you're giving this man an Alvin Kamara, a Jamal Williams, and a Miller. We're going to see what Miller brings to the table in the NFL. You got a Chris Olave, a returning Michael Thomas, a second year in receiver Heat as well, who's going to be an upcoming. I think he's going to have a breakout season this year. You got Brian Edwards, who's a big body receiver. You have A.T. Perry, who I think is going to actually do a little bit. He's not be on the field as much, but he's going to get a little bit of playing time, and so is what he's made of. You got Jawan Johnson returning, who was amazing, who did really good last year for tight end, who keeps improving at not only just receiving that he's good at, but now he's, getting really good at his blocking. And now you got a dude named Foster Moreau, who's very familiar with Derek Carr, so you can basically move on from the Adam Traum. You traded him away. So now you got 2 really good, solid tight ends that can, be used. And Derek Carr, he's a tight end guy. That's his safety blanket, is to go to tight end if nothing's there, which is amazing for a guy like Jawan Johnson and Foster Moreau. So those are your offensive weapons, and then you don't even mention Taysom Hill yet that you can use. And people's going to have to watch where he lines up on the offense. So that's going to help Derek Carr and them out even more, because now you got Taysom Hill on the field. Now what the heck is he going to do? So you better have eyes on him as well. So you're giving him all this weapon, and you're giving him a top 10, top 5 defense that he never had in his career. And this man was averaging 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and 3,700 yards with what he had. What do you think he can average with all these weapons and have a great defense to put the ball back into his hands for more opportunities? And that's why I try to tell people, like, people are sleeping on this guy and acting like he's just mid. But I'm telling you, we had all these top quarterbacks that we talking about going to, teams like the Raiders, who just really didn't care about helping their quarterback until late into his career, and basically let him play with what they had. Some of these quarterbacks we call him great right now wouldn't be great. None of these quarterbacks that you call him mid had great coaching. Had the right situation. And I don't know if you've been seeing this, CB, but everybody, dude's been putting ranking at top 15 quarterbacks right now. Derek Carr is not even in it. Everybody's putting Geno Smith in their top 10. And I looked it up earlier, and I said, you know what? I need to see what Geno Smith's stats are, for his career. And I looked at it. Did you know Geno Smith came into the league 1 year before Derek Carr? So he's been here longer. His first career season, Geno Smith drew 3,000 yards, 12 TDs, but 21 picks. Oh, but nobody's going to talk about Jameis Winston. They want to talk about Jameis Winston 30 for 30, which is 33 for 30. But nobody want to talk about a Geno Smith, 12 touchdowns and 21 picks, right? Nobody remembers that. Second season, 2,500 yards, 13 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. And from there, for 6 seasons, this brother was on the bench, following, playing backup quarterback. And then last year, he finally got his opportunity to start. Had his first breakout season, as a quarterback, 4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, and now everybody thinks he's a top 10 quarterback. But where's Derek Carr, who's been doing this consistently every year? With nothing. With no DK Metcalf. With no Tyler Lockett.
Don't know. With you. Yeah, especially that Geno Smith. I definitely agree with you on that, because the Jets situation, it was no better than the Raiders. The Raiders situation wasn't no better than the Jets, during that time. It wasn't like the Raiders was a powerhouse ball club, nor was the Jets, but they changed situations, and you see the results for Geno. But yeah, with Geno, it's 1 year. Derek Carr, he wasn't playing as bad as Geno. He didn't lose his spot. It was a backup for a couple of years. It wasn't none of that. I mean, we know how this last season played out. That wasn't due to, he just wasn't good enough. I think it was just more to that. They just wanted to see what was up with the other quarterback, and just knew that they was going to move on just due to his contract details and stuff, not just because he was trash. Yeah, definitely agree with you on that, Hoodie.
Yeah, and then you think about it too. If like I tell people, before y'all talk this shit, go look up, your facts and get them, and look up the stats and see what it is. Because Derek Carr, basically did what Geno Smith just did last year in his second year in the league. It took Geno Smith 9 years to do what he did. Derek Carr did that in his second year, having 3,900 yards, 32 TDs, and 13 touchdowns. Year after that, 3,900 yards, 28 TDs, 6 picks. 3,400 yards, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. 4,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 8 picks. 4,100 yards, 27 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. 4,800 yards, almost a 5,000 yard season, 23 touchdowns, 14 picks. And then last year, with his first time having to change up from a West Coast to whatever the hell McDaniels ran, 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. This man had the lowest rating in his career, was a 76.6, and every season after that was 86 and above. But people call him trash. But did anybody look at the weapons he had and the defense he had? No. So, and with the way they treated him, to bench him, I guarantee you this is a revenge tour this year for him to show people who he really is. And not only because he got the weapons, he's got a defense that can give him more opportunities with the ball. So I think with the Derek Carr situation, I think we set, man, for the next 5, 6 years with him.
Agreed. So welcome Derek Carr, man. Once again, like I said on my last show, I'm getting this jersey. I'm all in for him. I'm all in. I'm giving him a fair chance. I'm not about to hop off the train. I am expecting him. You just laid out some pieces that he got, and more pieces. So it's no excuse, for him getting out to a slow start. The offense, similar style offense that he's ran, that he's been brought Gruden in to, put his little 2 cents on things. So yes, there's no excuse with Derek Carr, but I believe he's gonna come out the gate, just fine on all cylinders. So I can't wait. So Let's go ahead and go to move to the draft. Okay, we picked up Derek Carr. We had a few pieces here and there we picked up, but let's get to the draft. The draft pick. What is your thoughts on the draft pick? How we drafted? Your thoughts on our first round pick and our second round pick, because it's a little debate going on. Who's going to be opposite Cam Jordan, the other defensive end. So just give me your thoughts on the draft picks, and then we can get into that conversation.
Yeah. So I guess just to start off with the first round pick, Brian Breesy, man. A lot of people is I think are tripping a little bit, because a lot of people say, well, he fought injuries in college. Well, guess what? He fought one big injury, couldn't play for the rest of the season, came back and played, but he missed some games too and wasn't as productive because this dude was dealing with losing his sister to some horrible news. Lost his sister, I think, to cancer or something like that, to a very bad sickness. And this dude was fighting from injuries, and then finally got healthy to play, and then dealt with the losing of his sister. But guess what? This dude was the top recruit in the United States, basically, coming out of high school, going into college. he was, going to produce. He was doing good in college. He got hurt, came back, still producing, lost his sister. So guess what? I think we got us a great dude at D tackle and Brian Breesy. And to be honest with y'all, I think he's going to have a great season with us and a great career, because not only does he want to prove everybody that, hey, I was that top, number one guy in the nation coming out of high school, but I also want to prove it for my sister and show her and make her proud, because that would make her, that would make his sister very proud of him succeeding in the NFL. So you know how people play, for their family members, especially for the ones that they, might have lost, and they just play extra hard for those. So I can see Brian Breesy being really good. Just give him his opportunity to start, this season. I think we're going to see some good things from him. And then you go move on to your second round pick, where you said who's going to be on the outside, on the other side of Cam Jordan at defensive end. Well, there's three names that you're really going to be looking at. You're going to be looking at, it's Peyton Turner. Is it going to be his year? No injuries. Stepping up, showing everybody why I was the first overall pick for the Saints. Is it going to be Carl Granderson, who's been there, showing that, hey, I can do this. Every time you give me in the game, I'm showing you what I can do. I just need the opportunity to start, and I can show you what I can do. Or is it going to be second-round pick out of Notre Dame, Isaiah Foskey? Everybody asked me about that pick. I didn't know who he was, but once I went and looked at his highlights, looked at his stats, I was finally happy with the Saints pick with that, because they finally didn't go for a dude with this size and, being so tall with the longest arms and looking like he can push everybody out the way. No, they went and got a guy who went to Notre Dame and got double-digit sacks in back-to-back seasons. So he's a proven guy that, hey, I can get to the quarterback. I can create havoc. And that's what they did. They went and got a dude that can probably be the next Cam Jordan. Now, do I say he starts and takes everybody's spots? He could. But I would say, if I had to guess, with the way Peyton Turner's been playing, not been playing and hurt, and Isaiah Foskey being new, I think this is going to be the first time you see Carl Granderson being the starter. And I think I just see it already, because Carl Granderson's been here for a while. Carl Granderson is going to have the Trey Henderson breakout year, and it's going to be hard to afford him next year. Watch, and he's going to walk two, and then we're going to have to start off with Isaiah Foskey and whoever we keep, Peyton Turner and stuff like that. So I can see maybe Carl Granderson having a Trey Henderson type of year, because I think his contract year is going to be coming up. So then we go to the third round pick, right? Kendre Miller, running back out of TCU. All I can say is he's a dog. Just go look at his highlights. This dude can run. He can run you over if he needs to. He's got the speed. He's got the moves, the juke moves, man. He's got everything you need. And it came to the end, like his season came to the end last year when he tore his ACL in college. Now, he's recovering. They said he should be ready to go by training camp. Can't wait to see what this guy brings to the table. But to be honest with you, with the way he's, with the swag that he brings, when you just listen to him in the interview of him saying, I can also do what Kamara does in the receiving game, Give me the opportunity to do that. I want to be a third down back if I could, Because he said, I think I can do it just as good. And he told Kamara, I'm coming for that number one spot, He said, even though he said, I do give respect to Kamara for what he does and all that, but, that's every player. You want every player to come for somebody else's position, You want them to be the number one guy, And this thing, if they all do that, and Kendre Miller lives up to his height that we think he could be, oh my gosh. Kamara, Jamal Williams, who was the touchdown leader last year, and Kendre Miller. And just letting y'all know, this week, it's around, I think it's Wednesday or Thursday, I'm having a live podcast, and we're going to turn this into a video. I'm going to have Bob Rose on the show. Me and him is going to pick the top 10 best running back rooms in the NFL. We're going to do a few honorable mentions, but I guarantee you Saints are going to be in the top 3 running back room, because I don't know other running back rooms that's going to have an AK, a Jamal Williams, and then an upcoming Kendre Miller. It's going to be hard. Then, if I can remember correctly, we went to the 4th round, and if you can maybe refresh my memory on who we picked 4th overall. Oh, guard, Nick Saldaviri, I think. We picked him. That dude, when I listened to his interview, I just love it. This dude literally said, wherever they need me, just put me there, and I'm going to produce. This dude played all over the place. Center, left guard, tackle. He did it all. And not only do I feel like he can produce, so whenever people get hurt, you can just slide him in there. So like if McCoy gets hurt, you can put Nick there. And, Cesar Ruiz can stay in his spot. But if everybody was asking me, why did we draft a guy like Nick? Yes, we got it because we get injuries at the line. But I'm not going to lie. I think they're getting rid of Andrews Pete next year. After the season, and I think Andrews Pete's out of here. And I think Nick's going to be his replacement. So you're going to probably see a Trevor Pennon, left tackle, Nick Sudderberry, I think that's how you say his name, at left guard, Eric McCoy at center, Cesar Ruiz at right guard, and then you got Ryan Ramczyk. So I think that's going to be your starting lineup next year. Or, to be honest, you might see that starting lineup this year, depending on if Andrews Pete is healthy or not. Andrews Pete hasn't played one big full season for us, so you might actually see that lineup, and it might be one of the best lineup we ever have. Right. And then I think in the 5th round we went with or in the 4th round we might have moved back up in the 4th round and traded. And I think we got our cute boy quarterback taking all the poses, man. Jake Haener, man. I really like that pick, man, because it's kind of funny how he's doing all these little cute poses and everybody's thinking it's funny and cute. But guess what? Go look up his little video on YouTube where he was in the locker room wearing a chain and wearing that mask on. See, everybody think he got that little cute pose on the front picture, but you don't know how he is in the locker room. Wearing that chain and wearing that mask on, bringing that swagger in the locker room. And not only did he come from Fresno State like Derek Carr said he liked, his play style when he went and watched him at Fresno State. And you get to learn under a guy like Derek Carr. You already been training with him before. He taught to you about certain things when you was in college because he went there and he, went and watched you play, taught to you and everything. And now you get to be there with him for the next few years and learned under a guy like Derek Carr. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, Jake Haener's short. Well, guess what? So was Drew Brees, right? But guess what Jake Haener's got? That Drew Brees had? Accuracy. And that's what we love. So I think Jake Haener could be a nice, good quarterback in the future if he settles down and watches and listens to what Derek Carr does, because like I told you, Derek Carr knows what he's doing in the league, and a lot of people just don't respect it because they overlook everything of just the record. But they think it's always the quarterback's fault on what the record is, and this ain't no league to where it's just one player's fault. It's literally the team. So I like the Jake Haener pick. And then I think we had one more pick, which was just A.T. Perry, the receiver out of Wake Forest. That dude, when we drafted him, I was so happy because I was listening to the draft. I was watching people on Twitter, and people was like, damn, I can't believe A.T. Perry is still on the board. This dude was supposed to be a 3rd-round pick. And we got this dude in the 6th round. Talk about a steal. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3", big body boy. Can kill you over the top. Can kill you on any route. He said he did play a lot of inside compared to being outside. So this dude can play anything, any spot on the receiver line because he said he played every spot. But to be honest with you, I think A.T. Perry could be a great receiver in the future. I say you got about maybe 2-3 more years with Michael Thomas, and then Michael Thomas will be out of here. He ain't going to be the same Michael Thomas anymore. So I think your future 3 receivers, the next 3 is going to be Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and A.T. Perry. That's going to be your big 3 in New Orleans in the next upcoming years, in about 2 or 3 years. And I think that's all the players, if I'm not mistaken, from the draft.
Let's see. Jordan Howden.
Yeah, safety. I know I forgot somebody.
His name Howden.
Yeah. I don't know how I forgot him. What was he, a 5th pick? A 5th round?
6, I believe. Somewhere around there. 5th or 6th.
Okay. Because I know we picked A.T. Perry in the 6th. So you know what? I think Jordan Howden was a 5th round. And I think Jake Haener was in the 4th round with Nick. I think we moved up to get Nick, and we still had our pick with Jake. So we got Jake. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Jordan Howden, I forgot about him. Don't know how I forgot about him because a lot of people have been talking about him on Twitter. I don't know if anybody's been looking on Twitter lately. But people have been talking about Jordan Howden just because of his versatile. He can play in the slot. He can play deep. he can play all over the place, and I think Jordan Howdy is going to be a great safety for the near future. And he might actually get some starting reps in this season too if any body gets injured and if you need him, because the brother's got the speed, he can cover, and Tyrann Matthews and Marcus May, they ain't getting any younger, right? So Jordan Howdy might be your future safety in the future, and I think he's gonna get some playing time this year. I really do, because he's been impressing a lot of people and OTAs and all that so forth. So we'll see if it continues in training camp.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you got the same process as I do. Remains to be seen what this group can do. I do know since 2017 there hadn't been a draft class to come close to that. Could this be the draft class? We'll see. But definitely some solid picks in there. And hopefully, wishing the best to all these guys, man. Hopefully they come out and be some dog for us. Kendrick Miller, I'm ready to see him for sure.
Yep.
The way he been talking and stuff. Somebody's talking like that, I'm expecting them to stand on what they're saying. So I'm looking forward to seeing him, and hopefully these guys are healthy. Hopefully these guys can give us some production. So let's go ahead and move into the off-season workouts, OTAs, mini camp. What is your takeaways from the OTAs? Who stood out for you? As far as Rasheed, he been getting a lot of praise for doing these mini camps and OTAs. So what is your thoughts on him? And then you can go into everything else that you've seen or heard during the off-season workouts.
Yeah, so you was talking about Rasheed Shaheed, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I already know he's a dog, and I already told everybody, I think at the beginning of the show, that Rasheed Shaheed's going to have a breakout season. Not only is he impressing in OTAs, again, he already shocked everybody last year what he showed, if you give him the ball or, you throw it to him, he can score a damn touchdown almost every time you put that ball in his hand. So he's got the speed, he's shifty, and, I really do think he's going to have a breakout season. And to be honest with y'all, I would not be shocked if Rasheed Shaheed has a 1,000-yard season with a guy like Derek Carr back there, I would not be shocked. Other players that they were giving props to, they were praising Rasheed Shaheed a lot, right? But Chris Olave actually got MVP of OTAs, and they said he was just the Chris Olave he was last year, plus more. And I said, if they said plus more, I can't wait to see till training camp. And the reason why I can't wait to training camp for both of those guys is not only I can't wait to hear their name saying they're improving and get better, but just wait to training camp till they put them pads on and they playing they playing 11-on-11 against our good DBs like Marshawn Lattimore, Alante Taylor, Adebo, Tyrann Matthews, and all of them are back there. Wait till you are playing against a great defense like that, and it's just gonna be iron versus iron. You're just gonna get better and better playing against each other. You're playing against a top 5, top 10 defense, and you're going against that. So whenever we play some harder teams, it's gonna help us out with that. And then just think of the teams that don't really have a defense, man. We should be destroying them with this offense that we have. Just being able to improve against a defense like that. Other players that I was hearing, was doing okay in OTAs. They said, but you want to see more when training camp comes. Is Brian Breesy. They saying, he's out there doing his thing, pushing the machines around, pushing everything around. But they said you can't really judge him and say oh yeah, he's strong, he's looking good, pushing everybody out the way, because nobody's got pads on. They're not pushing everybody like that. It's just walkthroughs and stuff like that. So I think Brian Breesy's one person I really can't wait to see and hear more about in training camp. And then another person that I heard is doing really well in OTA so far, and I can't wait to see more from him with training camp and preseason. And the reason why I can't wait to see this guy too was because I was so excited about him last year until he got hurt in preseason, and that was DeMarco Jackson, the linebacker that we got last year out of App State. Man, if you go look up his height, look up his weight, look up his, look how fast he is, what his 40 is. You go look at the way he plays from sideline to sideline. He literally reminds me of a Kawhi, when we had him on our team. And he's just a younger version, So hopefully DeMarco Jackson stays healthy. Hopefully we get to see some more of him. And I can't wait to see what he brings to the table once it comes to training camp. And hopefully he keeps up the hype, like they were saying, how he's been so far in OTAs. And I guess the last guy that kind of covered that everybody talking about on Twitter and everybody was talking about in OTAs. And it's just because his name was so popular last year before he got hurt. And that's Smoke Monday. Smoke Monday is just, everybody's cheering for him and hoping to see a guy like Smoke Monday to come at least make the team and, eventually be a starter or be on the special teams or something like that, Everybody's waiting to see Smoke Monday. And I told people this, I think he can make the team. But it's definitely going to be hard with this DB room we got right now. You got to fight out Marshawn Lattimore, Avante Taylor, Paulson Adebo, Bradley Roby, Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus May. You got veterans that we brought in this year. Lonnie Johnson, Jonathan Abram. We drafted Jordan Howden. And now you got Smoke Monday. You got a really great depth at that. But the question is, who are you going to keep? Who are you going to keep on the practice squad, with your 4 people that you can protect without getting steal from? And who you're going to have to let walk, because all those names that I named could easily be some starters in this league, And some of them can't even be starters just because they got so many good players ahead of them already, starters. So those would be probably my players from OTAs. And, can't wait to see what training camp is. I know you asked me about OTAs, but once training camp comes, I can't wait to see Miller, because Kendre Miller should be ready for training camp. So I'm ready to see that. And Michael Thomas, will be ready for training camp as well, supposedly. So let's see what he brings to the table and see if he can be the Michael Thomas that we need. You don't even need the old 2019 Michael Thomas. You just need him to stay healthy all season, just be on the field, because you saw what he did last year when he was healthy. He was scoring touchdowns for us, and that's what we need, So I guess that's all I can really say right now from the OTA so far and until training camp comes.
Okay, I want to welcome my co-host Uptown in the building. MOD, what's good with you, fam?
What's going on? What's happening with you? What's up, Jude?
What's up?
What's happening, man? I'm checking you out.
Yes, sir. Not much, just been talking football with everybody and just working.
And I concur with everything you were saying. And there's something I want to emphasize, something I want to tell Saints fans this, right? I know how y'all love Smoke Monday, right? And
yep.
I heard you just talk about that, right? But it's going to be a struggle for him to make the roster unless he about his business.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So, and I know why people love him, right? You understand? They want that kind of element on the team like we had when we had Chauncey. You understand? But I want him to earn his way on the team. And not because, he can provide that trash talk and all that kind of stuff, which as I can honestly say that kind of worked by our defense, and it's been rumored that, not rumored, but I even heard him say it, Dennis Allen kind of liked that kind of stuff, but
yep.
He's going to have to earn his way on this team, man. So if he don't make the 53-man roster or nothing like that, I just don't want Saints fans to be all upset and all that. Because he got fierce competition. Fierce competition.
Definitely.
That's all I want to see about that. What you got, CB?
Well, Uptown, since you just slid in, man, anything you wanna ask Jude about?
I want to ask him this, right? How you think that cornerback 2 spot? What you think gonna work out with that? I put it like this, right? And I want to ask this too to the Who Dat Nation, everybody that's listening, right?
Yeah.
Who do y'all think is going to win that battle? Or better yet, who do y'all want to win that battle?
All I can say is I know a lot of people want Alante Taylor to win, because especially how this young brother played last year and just literally locked down everybody in front of him. Devontae Adams, was one big name. Other big names, that he played against, like I think he played a little bit against DK Metcalf in some of the games because I think Lattimore got hurt that game. So, I mean, he got his time to play against some big players and literally shut them down. But like Coach Dennis Allen said, it's going to be a competition, right, with him and Paulson Adebo. And a lot of people are talking that smack, about Paulson Adebo. You know how some of our Saints fans, after one bad little season, they want to start talking bad about the player. But a lot of people forgetting that Paulson Adebo still had a pretty good season last year. But he did have a little downfall, little sophomore slump, if you want to call it. But people don't realize the dude hurt his foot and had a bad injury, foot injury in training camp last year. And they literally said it, too, that he was fighting for that injury all season long. So that's probably why you didn't see Paulson Adebo look as amazing as he did in his, rookie year, just as we've seen Alante Taylor playing good in his rookie year, So if I had to say and predict it, I think Paulson Adebo is still going to have his shot to redeem himself and still be the starter. But to be honest with you, they've been cross-training Alante Taylor in that slot where Bradley Roby usually plays, because, Alante Taylor got the speed. He can lock people down, so he could be a really good lockdown corner. But Alante Taylor also said in his interview he wants to play on the outside. That's his favorite position to play, he can excel. But he says no matter where they put me, I'm always going to succeed and do my best and do whatever I got to do to be on the field. So wherever they're going to put him, so if I had to guess, I would say Paulson Adebo is probably going to win that spot on the outside. And they probably going to put Alante Taylor in on the inside, on the slot corner.
I think. Let me tell you something, right? I really think that Alante Taylor is going to beat him out because did y'all know that Alante Taylor didn't even allow a touchdown last season?
Yep.
You understand? And number two, right? I feel this as far as that slot is concerned, I don't think he's going to go in that slot. No matter how crazy y'all think this sounds, man, I think that Dennis Allen is, I think that he is set on Bradley Roby. He likes Roby in the slot. And I think that Roby going to be in the slot regardless to whoever win that cornerback number 2 spot. I don't think that Dennis Allen going to take him out. I think he's going to keep him there, even if it's for experience alone. You understand? Because if Alante play in the slot, that would be the first time he ever played in the slot. So he either got to win on the outside or either he gonna be on the bench. And I think that I honestly think that he's gonna beat Paulson out. And the reason why I think he's gonna beat Paulson out really is because he make less mistakes than Paulson.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, we can attribute it to him having a hurt foot and all that, but I'm like, if you're out there, you play. You understand? If you're out there playing, you should be playing at a high level. Otherwise, right, if your foot hurt that bad, don't come out there where you can hurt the team. You understand? So whatever he did that he produced last season, that's on him, regardless if he had a hurt foot or not. You understand? And I saw him give up, especially in that doggone that Seattle Seahawks game. He had the Tyler Lockett was eating his lunch for him. You understand? But I'm not just basing it on one game. And then he have all this propensity to get these pass interference calls and all that. I was really, really impressed by Alante Taylor last season. I mean, awfully impressed. He did not look like a rookie. His head was not swimming around all over the place. You understand? Like he didn't know where the hell to go and this, that, and the third. And I think that, after playing last season, that he can only get better. And if he gets better, like I think he can get better, then he should win that spot easily. Easily. But that's a good problem for us to have, though. It's not, I'm not disturbed by it. I'm not upset by it or nothing. That's a good problem to have. If you got two good corners on that side that can play opposite Marshawn Lattimore and let the best man win it. But I honestly think that in the end, Alante gonna beat him out. That's just how the way I see it. I think in the end, Alante is gonna beat him out. I think he's a much more disciplined football player, just a little bit more disciplined than what Debo is.
Right, and maybe he was just I know DA was saying that training camp, just wanting to just see what he could do in the slot, just put him there. You never know what high injuries may go down. I mean, so you always got to have somebody on deck. I mean, if Roby get hurt, could he be an option to go in the slot? I mean, I'm not sure. If Debo beat him out, could he be an option for the slot? I mean, it's just different scenarios you can take away from him getting reps in the slot. I think it was just more of him, DA wanting to see how he look in the slot. But yeah, as far as the outside, I mean, may the best man win. That ain't taking nothing from a Debo. I know a lot of Saints fans, want to just beat him down. Like, he's still young. That was his second year. Yeah, he had a down year. And I know Debo hadn't played his second year yet, but the difference is that Debo's rookie year, he got off to a very slow start. Then he picked his way up the second half. Off gate with Alante, he was thrown in the fire with. I know D-Hop was gone 6 games, but that was a mono guy he was going up against. And I know those guys respected him after that matchup. Devontae Adams, like guys like that, he got thrown in the fire. And, he held his own respectably. So we'll see, man. I just know Amonte's skill set definitely, he won't be able to utilize his whole skill set if he's in the slot. I'll put it like that.
So one thing, man, what you just to build on what you just said, when he played against B-Hop and Devontae and all that, right? He looked like a seasoned veteran to me. I mean, from what I seen from him last season, he may have had maybe 1 or 2 plays that looked a little like, like he was inexperienced, like a rookie. You understand? But for the most part, man, Alante looked like a seasoned veteran, man, all season last year. That's why I'm like, if he can capitalize off from, the good play that he had last season and bring that into this season, into training camp and all that, right? He's almost a shoe-in to beat, Paulson. But if Paulson win the job, right, I won't be upset. Because I like him too, man. I believe in Paulson and Debo. I'm not throwing him out the water or nothing like that, throwing him out the pasture.
Yeah.
But when I look at them too and their skill set, and another thing too that really separates Alante from Paulson to me is that Alante is a little bit faster than him.
He does have the speed.
He's a little bit faster than him.
And a little bit more attitude, I would say. He's kind of like your next CD Duke, basically with the attitude and staying you down once you get done. So I like the attitude. Trust me, I love him bringing that swag to the defense. But he does got to watch that staring down at somebody because you know how the rest did last year. If you just look at the other guy, man, they want to draw a flag on y'all today. And we're the Saints, and you know how flags are. So
yeah,
I'm out there telling you to control that a little bit. Don't look at him. Just move on. Just know that you got that stop. And basically, just to tell everybody too, don't forget. Because remember, I was telling y'all about Paulson Debo was a little hurt, but he was out there. He played. Don't forget it. Paulson Debo, like CB was saying, had a really good rookie season. And don't forget the man had, I think, a combined of like 60-something tackles that year. And don't forget those 3 amazing picks. And that's what I really like about Paulson Debo. He's coming down with the ball. Alante Taylor had, I think, 2 picks last year that could have been called a pick. But one of them, I think, definitely should have been called, but got called back because, the rest are stupid. But yeah, so far, Alante Taylor is impressing everybody with his swag, with locking up these big receivers, not allowing a touchdown and stuff like that. But don't forget, Paulson Debo also impressed us his rookie season too, and also came along with 3 picks, and one of them was that amazing one hand against our Falcons in Atlanta.
Yeah, them boys, man, like I say, them boys look good over there, dude. So it's, I put it like this, right? It's a good problem for us to have, and whoever win that job, man, actually deserve it. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see how that's gonna be an interesting little competition, going into training camp. I got another question for you too, Drew.
Yes, sir.
How you see this offensive line shaping up?
How I see the offensive line?
Yeah, how you see this offensive line shaping up?
To be honest with you, I think this offensive line is gonna be. To be honest with you, I think it's gonna be really good if we stay healthy. If you can, if you stay healthy, this offensive line can be good because we all know, and I know we can all agree on this one. Andrews Pete pisses us off, okay, with his injuries and getting hurt, and not being, on the field. But everybody sees it. When Pete is on the field, man, he makes an impact. It was basically like the Davenport. Davenport, you're healthy, you're on the field, you're making the job easier for Cam Jordan. And just Pete, if you're on the field, you're making our line much stronger and easier. But when you're hurt and you're not out there, you're weak as hell, and we got to put somebody else in. We got to start a backup, and a guy that's not really ready to start. But the reason why I say I think this year could be the best year, even if Pete played a little bit and then got hurt, played like 5-6 games, then got hurt, I think we'll be okay because the rookie that we drafted, Nick Saldiveri, I think that's how you say it. Yeah, he's versatile. He can play tackle, guard, center. And if you just go listen to his interview and you just go watch his highlights, this dude's ready to play. He's NFL ready. And he literally said, you put me anywhere and I'm going to make sure I protect that person, Like, you can throw me at guard, he's saying. You can throw me at center. I played it all in college. That's what he basically said. He played every position in college, put him wherever you need him, and he's ready to go. So, if I had to guess the future, I think Pete's out of here after this season. So, for your O-line, I think it's going to be a Trevor Penning at left tackle. You got Nick at left guard, Eric McCoy at center, Cesar Ruiz at right guard, and Ryan Ramczyk on the right. And I really do think Ryan Ramczyk is going to have a bounce-back season this year after fighting a few injuries the past year or two, and having kind of like a little slump year after getting his contract. So I think Ryan Ramczyk is going to come back out and show us who he really is and why he got that contract. So to be honest, I think our O-line is going to be straight. We got some good veteran backups. I don't know if a lot of people were watching some of the people we signed during the free agency. One of the guys, I forgot the dude's name at the top of my head, but he also played for the Raiders a little bit and started a lot of games for them as center for Derek Carr. So he's familiar with Derek Carr, So if McCoy does go down again, I think he's somebody you might see start at center. If I can remember the damn name, but he just got signed not too long ago. And then also, remember Lewis Kidd from last year that was an undrafted free agent that got a lot of playing time. When he had his playing time, that brother sold out. So he's going to be another good one that you can have. And I know a lot of us don't really like having Throckmorton and all them, but hey, when they got their name called, they did what they can do. They're not a starter, but they showed that they can still play that role if they needed to. But like we said, they might not be, the starter and, produce it the whole game. But they did do it, some games where, the O-line looked great. And then they had sometimes they just looked like they didn't know what they were doing out there. But like I said, if we stay healthy, the starting offensive line should be fine. We got some solid depth now. And I think we got people to plug in, Trevor Penning gets hurt. You still got James Hurst on your left side, who I think is still good. A lot of people hate on James Hurst, but I think he does a pretty good job on the left side. Because that's your blind side right there for your quarterback. So he's been doing pretty good. So, like I said, I can't wait to see what Trevor Penning brings, ready to see him come back from his injury. I heard he's finally out the boot and stuff like that. So, but to answer your question, I think this O-line is going to be good this year. I really do. Especially with a Derek Carr now behind it. They're going to want to play even harder.
Well, look, I'll tell you one thing. They better be good. You understand? And I'm going to tell you right now, right? And it pains me to say this, right? But Mr. Saldiveri, get your ass ready. Get your ass ready, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Because you will play this season, fam. You will play this season, fam. Stop playing around, Jude. You know damn well that Andrews Pete gonna miss some games, bro.
Yes, sir. We already know.
I mean that's almost as certain, bro. You understand? As night to day. You understand? So, Mr. Saldiveri, you get your ass ready, bro, because you're gonna play some games, man. Don't if you play a significant amount of games. I figure you're gonna play at least about 7 to 8 games this season, bro. So get him ready. You understand what I'm saying? And Trevor, until I see it, Trevor, I will believe it. Until I see your ass healthy, I will believe it. Otherwise, man, we gotta roll with James Hurst. And that pains me to say that because while you say he was pretty good, that's all he was just pretty good, and that's it. I mean, nothing. I mean, that's it. Zero ill, no extra, no nothing. You understand what I'm saying? He ain't nothing to write home about at all. And as far as that man, Mr. Ramcheck, bro, who are you? Who are you, man? You understand? I mean, are we going to see the real Ramcheck this season? And I wasn't too impressed by Mr. Center either in the middle there. I wasn't too impressed with you last season either, bro. You had an all-fast season too. And I don't know if y'all paid attention. There was a certain blitz that teams ran on us all season last season.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it started in the Falcons game, and it ended in the damn punk-ass Panthers game. You understand what I'm saying? Well, I hope they figured out how to block that blitz. You understand? And they talking all this trash. I heard Saints, some of the Saints brass and some of the Saints, beat reporters talk about how good it is to have Doug Marrone. Man, Doug Marrone, that offensive line looked kind of awful with Doug Marrone last season. So the only thing he did that I do give him credit for, he made Caesar look good. You understand? He made Caesar was the best. Man, look, to tell you,
was that a jarring presence?
Bro, let me tell you something, bro. It was so bad, fam. To show you how bad the offensive line was, Caesar was the man. When Caesar is the man, that means that we had some fall off there, and a lot of fall off. So they better get it together, man, and open up holes and stuff for Kamara. You understand? And Jamal. You understand? And Travis and everybody, man. Protect Derek. Because if you don't protect Derek, we're gonna be in the same situation that we was in last season. Somebody said to tell Hoodie, man, I ain't gonna even mention that dude's name. I don't mention his name around here. You understand what I'm saying? Man, y'all are tripping, bro. Man, look, bro, leave that dude out of the conversation. He shouldn't even talk about that dude. I don't even mention his name around here. CB can tell you, man, we don't even talk. We don't even mention his name. That's number 10.
We don't. I mean, when he's talking about receivers earlier, his name wasn't brought up, so I'm pretty sure.
Say, bro, number 10 is, man, if things look like it's looking like I think it's going to look right now, number 10 should be gone.
Yeah.
Because we already got full slots already accounted for. That's Mike, that's Olave, that's Rashid, and that boy AT that came from TCU. You understand? Now, if Brian Edwards or Dwayne Washington make it, then that means number 10 is gone. And I'll be happy, man, because if number 10 ain't gone this season, he no secrets. He got some secrets on somebody. There's something that he doing his stuff to blackmail folks. If he's still on his team this season, and I'm convinced of it, and I'm starting the conspiracy theory. Ain't no way he should be back on this team. Ain't no way.
Hey, Mr. Uptown.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you a question, while I'm on here, because I see Jerry put it in the chat. He said, ask Hoodie, how well will Derek Carr play in the Saints quarterback debut? I wanted to ask you the same question. What is your thoughts on Derek Carr? I kind of touched up on him earlier during the show. I don't think he was here yet, but I touched up all over him. So I was kind of wondering what your thought is on Derek Carr now being the new quarterback.
I'm going to be totally honest with you, bro. I'm not going to cut no corners. I'm just going to keep it real, right? I never really liked him. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't. But I done seen him, and I done did some research, and I came to the determination that everything that happened while he was a Raider was not his fault. It really wasn't his fault. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. And, like, if there's any time for him to shine, it's this season with this team. And there's a lot of things, a lot of different things that make me say that. Because right now, Derek Carr is the de facto best quarterback in this division. Hands down. You understand? And if you look at our schedule, it would seem like in mostly every game, Derek Carr would be the better quarterback. So if he don't get it done this season, if he don't have something like a career year, something like over 4,000, maybe close to 5 or something like that, or whatever, then he just everything that I ever thought that he was. He got everything now, so it ain't no excuse now. I mean, he never did play with a defense that was even in the top 20 ever in his career. He got a damn good defense here. He got weapons all over the place, man. He got Chris, he got Rashid, he got Mike, you understand? He got AK, he got Jamal, he got it all. He got tight ends, man. He got his tight end that was playing with him for the Raiders. He got Juwan Johnson. If the offensive line is what we think it is, which, besides the fact that we know that Andrew's going to be injured, you know what I'm saying? He got an offensive line. I mean, bruh, you got all the tools here to be successful. I expect big things out of Derek Carr this season. I do. And the way that he talk, I like the way he sound, I like his approach to the game and all that kind of stuff. I'm pleasantly surprised by that, because I didn't think that, that he really, really was serious about the game like apparently he is, and I'm just gonna let it ride how it ride. That wasn't my first, and Jerry can tell you, because he know me. He know how I feel about that kind of stuff, and so do CB. He wasn't my first choice at no quarterback or nothing like that. I don't even think he was really on my radar. But now that he's here, and plus that also too, right? The main thing I like about Derek Carr being here is that is Dennis' guy. Okay? Now that's your guy, Dennis. Now, that puts a lot of pressure on Dennis too. To coach better, to excel, to delegate better, to do something better than what he did last season. So all that kind of works out and gonna play itself out throughout the course of the season, Jude.
Right.
And I like it. I like it like that. You understand what I'm saying? Because everybody right now, right? Either you sink or swim, and if you sink, then it's your fault. It ain't nobody else's fault. It's all on you. There's nowhere to hide this season, Jude. There's nowhere to hide for nobody.
Okay, Hoodie, but let's see. I wanna ask you this question, then we can shift to the NFC South, and then we can wrap the show up. I wanted to ask you, because I've seen you done a little segment on Quan Alexander. What is your thoughts on that situation? Did you do that segment because of our linebacker position looking kind of thin? Do you not want to put all the pressure on DeMarco Jackson? What was your reasoning for the Quan situation?
Yeah, so the reason why I posted that, because first of all, I was on Twitter, looking through Twitter, and I seen that he tagged Demario Davis, in the post. And I was like, okay. I said, so you tagging my boy Demario Davis? And I was just looking at it, and I said, well, he's a free agent this year. A lot of people, said we moved on, because, you got Pete Warner, he didn't want to wait and sit behind him and stuff. He wants to be a starter somewhere. But he's still here, in free agency. He's still waiting to be signed with somebody. He still brought the swag. He still played good under, Dennis Allen's defense. And if he's willing to, take turns and, come in and out with, Pete Warner, DeMario, and maybe split some with, DeMarco Jackson, depending on if DeMarco's going to stay healthy, this season. I wouldn't mind, adding him for a cheap price because he went to the Jets for a cheap price. And a lot of people say, well, he was injured a little bit on our team. Yeah. But guess what? Last year, he played all 17 games with the Jets. The year before he left, I think he played like 15 out of 17 games for the Saints. So his injuries haven't been too bad the last 2 or 3 seasons in the NFL. So I wouldn't mind adding him to that linebacker core because, just think of that. Pete Warner, DeMario Davis, Kawan, and DeMarco Jackson. One man goes down, you got another man that can play. Instead of trying to figure out will this dude live up to what we seeing him be in camp. We already know what Kawan is, and he brings swag to the team too. So.
Okay, so we see what happened with the Quan situation. Hopefully, I want him to become a Saint. That brings extra depth. I'm pretty sure he know that Pete is the guy that's going to be standing beside Mario at this point. Hopefully, he comes in, and give us some good depth. So let's get to the. Oh, go ahead.
Can I say something right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
We need somebody, man. We do need somebody to come in off from that linebacking core, man, that can at least put in at least half the production that we had got last season from Caden Ellis. You understand what I'm saying?
All right.
So we do need somebody, man, to kind of fill that role. And that was a pretty good role that Caden Ellis, on the field. And I think Quan would be somebody that would be really, really good for that. I think he may even, exceed what Caden Ellis did, to be honest with you. But I know we still a little thin at linebacker, so if we sign another linebacker, I won't be opposed to that. You can go ahead, CB.
All right, that's fast. Okay, well, let's hop into this NFC South. Hoodie, we can get your thoughts on that, then we can wrap the show up. So, the NFC South, you can give an overview of how it's looking. You can give your rankings, but what's your view on the NFC South as a whole?
Yeah, to be honest with people, I know how people are saying the NFC South wide open. Every team's got a chance to win it. But if you look at the Saints roster and how much depth we have, there should be no chance of any other team winning this division with us. But if you look at some of the teams like the Panthers, right? They just got their young quarterback, Bryce Young, who showing out in camp, who I think could be a really great quarterback for the future for them. Great defense. You added some good weapons for him, and DJ Chark, Adam Thielen, you still got Terrence Marshall. You drafted Mingo. So great there. You went and got Miles Sanders from the Eagles as your running back now. So you got you a pretty good, team right there. That would be a team that I can say, okay, they might be right behind us, right? And no matter how much I hate the Atlanta Falcons, right? That's our biggest rivalry out of everybody in our division, basically. If you look at them, they seems like they up big in some games, and they just blow the lead, right? 28-3. Everybody remembers.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers a lot of other games that they blew.
Yeah,
but guess what? They went and got some defensive players. So,
like the lead they blew to us in Game 1 last season. Remember that?
Yeah, we did it to them last year in Game 1. So what they did to go fix that this year, they went and took David Adamadu from us in free agency. They went and got who? They went and got Caden Ellis from us in free agency. Yeah. Who else they went and add? Oh, they went and asked Calais Campbell. Okay, cool. You went and got Jesse Bates. Okay. See, they added to that defense to make it better to where they don't be blowing leads, right?
Yeah, and Ryan Nielsen, too.
Yeah, and Ryan Nielsen. But the thing I'm scared about for them is their offense. Can Desmond Ridder live up to the hype of being a third-round pick, and leading Cincinnati all the way to the college, basically playoffs, and then, basically then make it far after that? Can he be that guy for the Falcons? We don't know. But they do have a good running back room, Cordell Patterson. They got Robinson in the draft at pick like 7 or 8. I think they drafted him too high. And you still got Tyler Azler, or however you say his goddamn name, who had 1,000 yards rushing last year. The receiving core, Drake London's okay. He still got to live up to his hype, you know. He didn't show me a lot last year as much. And you got maybe some decent receivers after him, not really too big. That's what I'm really worried about for the Falcons is their offense. You finally got a defense, but now you don't have an offense still. So, but don't forget they do have the easiest schedule in the NFL. So I would not be shocked if you see two NFC South teams making it to the playoffs because some of these other divisions you got some really good teams, right? But they got some tough schedules, you know. A lot of people thinking the Eagles are going to repeat and go like 14-3, but they got a tough schedule this year. Go look at their schedule. I mean, CB, if you can pull up their schedule and put it up there and show everybody, dude, I can see the Eagles easily losing like 10 games. And people are like, oh, you crazy. I said, well, go look at the teams they playing. They playing playoff Super Bowl caliber teams. I think they got to play the Bengals, the Chiefs. I think they might have the Bills. I don't know if they have the Bills or not. You got to play the Cowboys twice a year. The Giants twice a year, and the Giants are just going to get even better. They got a tough schedule. So, like I tell people, y'all can talk down on my Saints. Y'all can talk crap. But go do your research and look at Derek Carr. See what he did with nothing. See what he can do now with more weapons and a defense that gives you more opportunities.
You know what?
And look at our division, how we look at our schedule compared to everybody else's schedule. I said you can go talk shit because you're Eagles and then went 14-3 last year. Congrats. But go look at your schedule this year and tell me if you really think y'all going to go 14-3. And by the way, they lost a lot of key players too on defense. They lost their defensive coordinator, so we got to see how all that looks with their new defensive coordinator and some new players on that defense.
Defensive and the offensive coordinator.
Yep, and they lost C.J. Garner-Johnson, who had 6 picks for him last year. He's gone. So, I mean, they lost a lot of good pieces, and a lot of people just acting like everything's just good because they drafted some good people from Georgia. But it doesn't mean they're going to live up to the hype in the NFL, too, you know? We got to see. So, as CB's pulling their schedule up, just look at their schedule, y'all, and tell me what y'all think of that.
Can you zoom in on that, CB?
Let's see. So, guess who the Eagles start off the season against, y'all? The Vikings.
Can't see that.
Vikings.
I think they got to start off against the Patriots and then the Eagles. I mean, then the Vikings. So Patriots, Vikings.
I think they're gonna win both of those.
The Vikings gonna be a tough one, you know, offensively. I think they're gonna go back and forth with offense. But Eagles got a better defense, so I can give them that. But that's a tough game.
You think the Vikings gonna go backwards and forwards offensively with them, and they don't even have Delvin Cook anymore?
Yeah. And then I think they're gonna smash the Buccaneers.
I think they're gonna come out 2-0, man. They're gonna beat the Patriots and they're gonna beat the Vikings.
Yeah. So this is what I'm thinking. I think they're gonna beat the Patriots. They're gonna beat the Vikings. They're gonna beat the Bucks. They're gonna beat the Commanders, and I think they're gonna beat the Rams. So they're gonna be like 5-0. Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh my God, they're looking really good."
Yeah.
Until you run into the Jets, until you run into the Dolphins, then you go back to the Commanders. You know they could split a game with you, but I think you beat them. Then you got your Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Bills, the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Seahawks, the Giants, Cardinals, and then the Giants. Listen to all them teams back to back. You think they really going to beat the Jets, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Bills, the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Seahawks, the Giants? You think they're going to beat all those people back to back to back to back to back? No. And a lot of people thinking they're just going to just run over everybody 14-3 again. Just look at their schedule, and then you go look at some of the teams like us in the Falcons and look at our schedules and see who y'all think is going to have a better record and who you think is going to be the NFC leaders. They just going off of last year.
I don't know why you give the Falcons, man, they ain't going to do shit. They ain't going to do the damn thing. And I ain't saying that because I dislike them because I can't stand the Eagles. They're the most sensual team I ever seen in my damn life. You understand what I'm saying? But they're not going to do as well as people think they are because I think their coach sucks. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's what was holding that particular team back. I know what he's trying to do. That's why he drafted this boy Robinson. He's trying to do what he did when he was in Tennessee. See if he can get a big bruising back and all that. You know what I'm saying? And all that mess. But that's not going to work out for him because I don't know. I'm not too sure that this dude Desmond Ritter is that deal.
Yeah,
Matter of
I don't
fact,
think he is.
as a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you something else, right? The only team that I think, right, because I do, if the Saints don't win this division, then I think everybody needs to be fired. But let me say this much, right? I do think the Saints is going to win the division. You understand? And I think the team that's going to come in second place, and, you know, believe it or not, is going to be Carolina and Little Brightsmith. You understand? It ain't going to even be. It's not going to be the Falcons, and the damn sure ain't going to be the Yucks. The Yucks suck. You understand? And all that, you see all that you talking about with the Falcons, man, you are talking about the Falcons here. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, perennial, 100% heavy duty, grade A, guaranteed chokers. All that stuff you think gonna happen? No, it's not gonna happen. They're gonna lose games to a couple of busters too, who they should have never lost games to.
I don't think that Robinson pick. I mean, I'm just think about. I mean, yeah, Robinson gonna be. I believe he gonna be a problem in the league. But just what did Cordell Patterson do? No. What can Robinson do that Cordell Patterson couldn't do? I think the Falcons got the best out of Cordell Patterson. I'm saying, so I don't see them getting Robinson actually elevating them.
Well, they had a 1,000-yard rusher, man, with that dude Algier.
Right, and then you got Cordell that ate for him as well. So I don't see what Robinson does for them far as innovating.
I think he wants that big bruising ass back like he had when he was in Tennessee. That's what he was about. That's what he wants. But you know, if he like it, then then I love it. You understand?
Yep. Hey, by the way, we haven't even mentioned the Buccaneers because there's no Tom Brady. You know,
Man,
I've been seeing they've been struggling with their quarterbacks. I heard they can't even connect with their receivers or tight ends. So let's all please take a moment of silence and let's pray for the Buccaneers this year because I haven't even seen no Buccaneers fan yet on Twitter. So let's pray for them.
You talking about pray? Yeah, I pray for them, all right. I pray they do just as bad and as worse as they do ever. You understand what I'm saying? The Bucks, they're gonna go back there. I told they fans that too, right? That y'all gonna go back into obscurity after y'all lose TB12, and that's happening right now as we see it, right before our eyes. You said you can't even find a young fan online now. You understand? So it is what it is. They got Baker the candlestick maker.
Yep.
So as far as this division is concerned, we better win this division. We better. I mean, we got the most talented team. I'm not gonna say that we have the talented coach or nothing like that because, in my opinion, I think every coach in the NFC South sucks, including ours. You understand what I'm saying? So it's up to you, Dennis. Change my opinion of you, bro. You got it all, man. You had it. People thought you had it all last season. You got it all this season, though, man. You got it all. Control all that. You even got your man. You got your man, Derek. You understand who you drafted? Who you drafted when you was over there with the Raiders. You understand? You got it all, Dennis. Don't screw it up, bro. Don't screw it up.
Yep.
You understand?
Don't screw it up.
Don't screw it up, bro. You understand? I expect us to win, 10 or more games. I expect that. I could be ridiculous about it, but I ain't gonna get ridiculous like that. That would be too much of a homer. You understand what I'm saying? But we should win more than 10 games. Let me put it like that.
Right.
Especially considering that damn schedule that we have. That's got to be, and I really don't like saying this, man, because that kind of stuff can backfire on your ass. But this is like the weakest schedule I've ever seen as a Saints fan.
Well, Hoodie, any final thoughts, fam, before you get off? Definitely want to appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah. Basically, I did want to touch up because I know Uptown wasn't here earlier to discuss it with us. Was basically, the Derek Carr situation. I remember me and CB was talking about it earlier, Uptown, where people are literally putting Geno Smith in their top 10 quarterbacks right now, in the NFL. Derek Carr's not even on their top 15 list because, they just want to down trash talk, I guess, because he's just on the Saints. But people want to put Geno Smith in there after this one good season. I compared him to Derek Carr's stats. Derek Carr blows him away because the dude only started maybe 2 or 3 seasons in his career. 2 or 3 seasons out of 9 seasons. Or no, 10 seasons. My bad. He's been there 10. So it took him almost 10 years to finally do one good season. All the other seasons were horrible. The other thing I want to touch up on, a lot of people say, like, who's your top 5 quarterbacks right now in the NFC side, right? So you look at the NFC quarterbacks, I'm going to name everybody. You got Desmond Ridder, Kyler Murray, Bryce Young, Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Daniel Jones, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Geno Smith, Kyle Trask or Baker Mayfield, whoever starts, and Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett. And you look at these quarterbacks, everybody's going to say Jalen Hurts number 1. That's what they're going to rank. He can run, he can throw. He brought his team to the Super Bowl last year. Amazing, season last year. MVP candidate. Cool. Some people have maybe Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, maybe. Sometimes people put Jared Goff at second or third, They will see Dak Prescott maybe third or second, depending on how they rank them and all that. And they will have like Derek Carr at like 5 or 6 in that division, NFC. But I always ask people, who's better, Derek Carr, or do y'all think Dak Prescott's better? A lot of people say, Dak Prescott, no doubt. And I said, okay, cool. So the reason why I asked people that, I said, so y'all really do think Dak Prescott's better than Carr? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Until I hit him with the stats. Derek Carr's been here for 9 seasons. He averaged 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and about 37 to about 3,800 passing yards. Dak Prescott. Oh, yeah, by the way, Derek Carr. No top 25 defense at all to get more opportunities with the ball. And not that good of an offense till almost last year. You finally got a good offense, and some of those people was hurt, so you were literally down to this best receiver in the league and a good running back. Now you go to Dak Prescott, who had good weapons, Amari Cooper and C.D. Lamb. C.D. Lamb and some other receivers, good running backs, and Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. Great defense, top 5, top 10 defense his whole career so far. Guess what he's averaging in 7 seasons? He's averaging 23 touchdowns. So he's averaging 1 less touchdown than Carr. He's averaging 2 less interceptions with 9 interceptions. Cool. But he's averaging about 200 to 300 less yards a season than Derek Carr with 3,500. So if you look at those numbers, you'd be like, who's better? Well, one of them does 300 or 400 more yards than him and does 1 more touchdown, but only throws 2 more picks. So I'm going to have to go with that quarterback, He gives me more touchdowns and more yards, but just throws only 2 more picks than another guy. Yeah, I'm going to take him over him every day. That's got to be Dak Prescott. No, that ain't. That's Derek Carr. So I'm kind of confused on where people are trying to say he's better.
I seen the top 10 list, man, recently, right? And I was just, just going through YouTube and stopped on, and somebody had like Colin Cowherd. That's pretty, right?
Yeah.
He did a top 10 teams in the NFC, and he left us off the list. You understand? And I'm like, do you see? That's the reason why idiots like him should not be on the network. You mean to tell me, right? The Saints is not a top 10 team in the NFC right now. I mean, even on paper, if we just looking at it on paper. I mean, are you kidding me? You understand? It amazed me. His number 10 team was Carolina and stuff with a rookie who they just drafted, Lil Bryce. You understand? And I'm just used to that now. I'm just used to that kind of hate, man. I think, man, that as a Saints fan, I think you just need to get used to that. Nobody ain't gonna really show you no kind of love.
Yeah.
Our team no kind of love. You just need to just get used to that.
Definitely. I mean, people just do their research and go look at what these quarterbacks had, you know, as defensive wise, rank them, how many times they got the ball back, you know, to have more opportunities, who was on their offense, you know, who was their coaches, how many coaches they've been through, how many offensive coordinators they've been through, and do all of that research and notice that that guy that had all of that trouble issue with different coordinators, having terrible head coaches, not having enough good weapons on the team, not having a top 20 defense, always had a 25 defense or below, and he can average more than a quarterback that y'all saying is better than him that had the defense, that had the offense, that had the good coaches. So it's just, you know, some stuff just don't add up, and I think people just talk out their butt just to talk instead of doing their research.
I think what's going to really affect the Eagles more so than anything is the loss of those four. Not just, and then people don't realize they lost. I think they lost like 8 people and stuff on the defense too. Now, dig this, right? I think Dallas gonna suffer too. They're gonna suffer from the loss of Kelly. You understand? It's already been proven, man, that this dude, he don't run plays and stuff pretty good anymore. Meaning, Mike McCarthy, and he's awful at managing the game. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where these people getting that from, and it remains to be seen if Geno Smith gonna have the same kind of year that he had last season. And if people paid attention, he didn't have as good of a year at the end of the season as he had at the beginning of the season last year. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that is remains to be seen. And I'll be honest with you, I think the Vikings about to fall on their faces. I really do. You understand? So I don't know why they're saying that. And as far as the 49ers and stuff is concerned, they gonna be good just based on the fact that they got a defense and they run the ball pretty good and all that kind of stuff, but not really based on the quarterback. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah, I
don't really understand that. And then the Rams, as far as the Rams is concerned, I think that by the time they finally caught up to Matthew Stafford, he can't overcome all the injuries and stuff like he was able to overcome before. And then, you know, your boy Cooper Kupp, he was banged up. You know, is he gonna be able to stay, injury free throughout the course of the year? I don't know what wide receiver and stuff they have opposite of him. That team's a big gut. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, didn't they trade Jalen Ramsey too? So you understand? I don't know where they're getting this stuff from, man. I don't understand how they, they're coming up to some of the conclusions and stuff they coming up to. And then Daniel Jones, man, yeah, he's a good. He get, I think he got some like 2,000 yards or something running and stuff last season, but he ain't no threat throwing the ball and stuff in the pocket, and he's not a cerebral quarterback. He will make a ton of mistakes. So I don't know, man. I don't know where they're getting it from. Now, as far as Hurst is concerned, Hurst, I feel the same way about Hurst that I feel about Geno Smith. Let's see if Hurst can pull that off again. For another season. Let's see if he validates the fact that he just got that big ass bag that he just got. And Kyler Murray and all that, man. I think he's done. You understand? I don't know where the hell they basing all this stuff from, bro. I don't know where they getting all this stuff from, this crazy stuff they talking, but like I say, these people are predisposed to hate on the Saints, so just let them hate and say what the hell they want to say, man. I long stop getting, agitated about that kind of stuff. It is what it is. Man, I want to give a shout out too, man, to everybody in the chat. Shouts out to everybody in the chat.
All right, so Hoodie, you got any final thoughts, fam, before we wrap this up?
I think we touched everything, Kind because we went to the Derek Carr signing, we went to the draft, we went to the OTAs and stuff like that. I mean, the only thing I guess left you can basically talk about is what a lot of people was excited about was Jamal Williams. The signing of Jamal Williams, adding another running back with AK back there who was the touchdown leader last year with 17 touchdowns, and a lot of people were mad about it because he averaged all those touchdowns inside the red zone, like inside the 5-yard line. But guess what? Guess what the Saints did when they got inside the 10 and 5-yard line? Kicked field goals. So guess what? You got your guy that can get you to that end zone now. So I'm happy. Happy excited. I can't wait to see this running back.
The rookie can do that too.
Oh yeah, Miller. Yeah, he's gonna be special.
All right, that's all I got too for the night. CB is just family again, man. You heard me?
Right. Well, I know y'all hearing some fireworks in my background, so I'm about to go on and enjoy that. But once again, Who Dat Nation, thank you guys for tuning in, and want to give a special shout out to Hoodiejube, man. We definitely appreciate you for coming on the platform. Showing our page some love, picking your brain, man. You giving us your thoughts and opinions on what's been going down with the Saints. Looking forward to having you on again. I'm pretty sure during training camp or right before the season starts, we're gonna have some type of round table going on. So, man, just be on the lookout for that. And as far as the Who Dat Nation, you guys be sure to like, subscribe, and follow the page. It's the WDN Chatline podcast.